Bankruptcy. It sucks so bad. It really, really does. It sucks so bad. 10 years ago, when all of this started happening in my life, I can remember it like yesterday. All of the pain, the embarrassment, the shame, all of the stuff that goes along with it. And you have this feeling left with you that you're almost like you're not worthy. And some people say money isn't important, okay? But when you have a baby to feed, you have your skyrocketing mortgage happening, you've maxed out all your credit cards, and your husband comes home and you're working hours and hours with little sleep, and then all of a sudden you realize there's a job loss in the family. Money seems pretty important at the time. So sometimes I feel like people who say money isn't important, they may have not have ever been in this type of a situation. And I wanted to tell y'all that over 40% of Americans in the U.S. spend more than they bring home. So it's not just me that's this happening to, or a few people. It's 1 in 70 Americans that end up filing bankruptcy. In 2009, oh my gosh, they had over 100,000 bankruptcies every single month for 10 months straight. So that's a lot, 100,000 a month, not just for the year, a month. So it has gone up a lot. And again, my name is Heidi Easley with Texas Art and Soul. And the reason I'm sharing this is I'm not saying this because I think I was right or what I did was right. I am obviously very, very embarrassed by it. And I didn't even start talking about this till a few years ago. But the reason I'm telling you this is because you might be in a situation where you're like me, where you feel like you have all this guilt and this shame and you didn't know how to kind of handle it. Well, I ended up using art to heal. I ended up painting, which ended up leading to my first business. So I'm actually very, very grateful, as weird as it sounds, that I did go bankrupt. I would have never discovered all the potential in painting and art and actually having art businesses if it wasn't for going bankrupt. So I am actually thankful. But I'm not telling you all this so that you can do this or that you should do this. The reason I'm sharing all this is that I know that there's a plan and you can get out of it. So if you are struggling financially and you want to try to do some type of art business, you can. And I can show you how. All you need to do is just send me an email or a message, and I'd gladly get on the phone with you and talk for about 10 minutes and kind of get you going in the right direction. Another thing I wanted to tell you about the day of my first business, when I first opened it. Okay, so I'm terrified. Me and my family, my mother-in-law, my stepdad, my husband, we all saw these surfboards, these wooden surfboards. And for 2 months straight, we had tons and tons of these mini surfboards. And we show up the day of the event. And I was set up. I talked this guy into renting a space for 3 days a week at Pier Park in Panama City Beach, Florida. And I set up, and I'm so scared and so nervous, and I'm about to throw up. And I set up, and nobody's there. Like, nobody is buying. And I'm just freaking out. I'm like, really? Really? How could this happen again? I wasn't even 30 yet, and I'd already failed so many times. We moved into this little bitty apartment. We had to sell our house that we loved. We had to foreclose on it. We didn't sell it. We had to foreclose on it. And just all these things, I had this perfectly painted nursery for Pixie, and just all these things that I thought were going to be perfect were not. Nothing was in line. Nothing was the way I had it in my head. And nobody's buying. So my mother-in-law can sense my frustration, and she's like, let's go over to Buffalo Wild Wings and have a few drinks while, Bobby watches the booth. So we go to Buffalo Wild Wings because that's what you do when you fail. You go to Buffalo Wild Wings and you have a drink. Well, a few drinks in, I'm drowning my sorrows, not sure where I'm going to go next. I'm freaking out. How can I fail? What am I going to do next? Trying to think of plan B, C, D, whatever. And my husband calls and says, we have orders, get back over here. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, you're lying. There's no way. This isn't going to work. And it did. I come back over, and I can still remember the feeling of looking at my husband, even a little tipsy, looking at my husband, and he had this stack of papers. And he said, come on, get to painting. And he's trying to get me to hurry because we have these orders coming up. And I didn't realize at the time everybody was on the beach, which I should have. But during the night, they would come eat and they would shop and do all their tourist shopping. So I was painting, and I remember just that feeling of being like flat on my face, and then with one phone call, that instant of just catapulting to the top and knowing that I could change my family's situation. And not only change my family's situation, but do it doing something I love, which is painting, which is my favorite thing ever. So cut to the end of that summer, we ended up selling over 1,000 surfboards in just 2 months, where I was working 3 days a week. It was a lot of hard work, but oh my gosh, it was so fun. And I have so many memories, and I'm so grateful. I look back and I know that that would have never happened. I would have never been pushed to that, to even discover what I could do if I wouldn't have gone bankrupt. So some of y'all that think maybe, that's could be the worst devastating thing. Yeah, at the time it feels like it. It does. It's embarrassing. But, the reason I share that is to let you know that you're still worthy. You're still a child of God. You still have things to offer. Just because that happened doesn't mean you can't continue. You can still go on. And if you're like most Americans out there, like I said, those facts earlier, I'm not in this alone, and I used to think I was, but now I know that's not the norm. The norm is most people are overspending, or they've already filed bankruptcy. And if you're like most Americans, you're trying to find the way to pay for your kid to go to summer camp, or you're trying to make ends meet, or you're trying to find that extra money to maybe throw together a road trip this summer. So if you are, whatever the motive is, let me know. I have the solution. If you're an artist and you're wanting to make extra money, I can help you. Now, I mentor people all over the world how to throw paint parties. I've been doing that for about 2 years now, and I love it. I love seeing people succeed. And I also have, just recently, someone joined at the end of December. She'd only painted 5 paintings her entire life. And now she's thrown countless parties just since the end of December and is doing very well. So there's tons and tons of opportunities out there if you want to go that route. And introducing, drum roll, I'm not good at music, but introducing, I just launched my new website called Paint Vault, paintvault.net. And the reason I did this is because the biggest pain point I found with artists that are trying to throw paint parties is they start to lose focus or inspiration for what they need to paint next. So what I developed was, me and some other artists that I handpicked to put some designs in this paintvault.net, is you can go in and actually browse through over 100 designs. I should have 200 by the end of this year. And you can browse through and see all of the artwork, and you can buy rights for a one-time fee. You can buy rights to use that painting over and over and over again at your parties. So if you've seen some paintings that I use and you know that I'm always using them and they're very successful, these are paintings that have been tried out in the marketplace. These are paintings that have been used from kids to adults, and people know that they work, and the step-by-step directions will be sent to you via email within 48 hours, as well as the paint brands, the type of brushes, all the things you need to know so that you can paint that exact painting and use it for any of your paint parties. So it takes out all the guesswork. So all you have to do is go to paintvault.net, take a look, browse through all the paintings, find the ones you like, or even if you want to send your customers there first. Let's say you have a paint party coming up. Somebody's interested in doing a party with you. You've sent them some ideas. They're not sure yet. You can send them to this website. They can select a design, and then you can purchase it and then use it over and over and over to make recurring income for your family. So I hope this helps, and I hope that by me sharing my story will help you a little bit know that just because you may have lost everything or you feel like you're going to lose everything doesn't mean that's the end of the game. It doesn't have to be over. In my case, it was just the beginning, and I hope so for you too. All right, guys, love y'all, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye.